go down to the second piece first.
You want the,
Yeah.
this one?
Yeah, let's do that one first.
I move that the April 15, 2024 regular board meeting of the Board of Education agenda be approved as printed with the following revisions. Amended agenda to add under new business 7C negotiations.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Miller, support by Dr. Huff. Do any discussion? Roll call vote, sorry, Mr. Nash.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes. We have the other already on the table. The motion by Mr. Miller, support by Doc Huff. Roll call vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes. Item 3, communication. I have no written correspondence. B, Ovid-Elsie personnel, Mr. Long.
I'm reading this on behalf of the Ovid-Elsie Education Association and majority of its members. Dear Ovid-Elsie Area School Board of Education members, rarely have you ever received communication from the Ovid-Elsie Education Association. However, there are several items that have the members of the executive board concerned as representatives of our dues-paying members. We feel the need to bring these items to your attention in a written communication. We have shared the following communication with members and have been granted permission to move forward with the following statements and requests. As each of you are aware, Ovid-Elsie school employees were given one stipend or bonus, if you will, during COVID. We were grateful for the recognition. However, since that payment was made, we were informed that there were errors made on our W-2s. Although correcting reimbursing staff members for their penalty fees and fees related having taxes refiled are not in the contract, we are hoping a fair resolution to this issue for all employees that have been negatively affected. It has been disheartening for employees of this district to be made aware of colleagues and friends in other districts of how the COVID monies were dispersed to essential workers. It is fair to state the OE teachers and other support staff worked intensely to keep Ovid-Elsie students' education moving forward as best as possible. Districts around us were rewarded with additional stipends in the thousands of dollars over a period of a few years. Ovid-Elsie teachers and support staff did not get a share of those COVID monies, except for one bonus noted in what I said before in this letter. It is important for the board members to note that we notice the lack of financial recognition. Finally, we'd like to formally thank Dr. Petrolia for stepping in and becoming the intern superintendent of Ovid-Elsie area schools. It was the staff's understanding last fall that Dr. Petrolia was going to step in for this school year as the board looked to hire a new superintendent for the fall of 2024, this next school year. It was our understanding Dr. Petrolia was going to be utilized as a transition. Recently, an offer for the second year of the services were approved by the board. This was not what we were expecting. OEEA is asking that we work together and a hiring committee be formed. We support the board in its effort to start looking for qualified candidates for superintendent, while Dr. Petrolia is supporting us as an intern. We believe it will be valuable to get a prospective employee hired and a place sooner rather than later to lead the district onto the future. Continued guidance from Dr. Petrolia would greatly appreciated through his second year contract as we are aware of his solid connections and understanding of the school district. Each member of the board is very aware of the chaos that ensued 2 summers ago. Our district was brought to its knees and our community was torn up by negativity, gossip, media focus, etc. Community members showed their outrage and anger at times. It was intimidating and disheartening. Those of us who work on the front line and live in the community and surrounding area were affected on many levels by the backlash of things that transpired. It is with utmost respect that we would like to formally state that we want to move to a new chapter for the sake of our students, staff, and community. We support starting the process of finding a new superintendent that will bring certainty, direction, and consistency to the district in future years after Dr. Petrolia's contract extension. Thank you in advance for being supportive of the initiatives within this letter. OEEA Executive Board and members look forward to working with administration and the board in the upcoming months. As a staff, we want to feel that the board does indeed recognize and appreciate every person who contributes to the school district. Additionally, we look forward to communication between all entities that will further our unified goals. Thank you.
Item B, communication from the public, I have none at this time. Item 4, consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Miller, supported by Dr. Huff. Discussion. Roll call vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes. Item 5, Board of Education reports. Mr. Tokar.
So I get to kick off tonight. Looks like we have a handful of reports, and before we get to the high school highlights, we're going to kick off the high school highlights by introducing a person that we're very proud of. She represents Ovid-Elsie and our FFA extremely well. We're always at the top of the line when it comes to our state competitions, and that's our FFA chapter leader, ag science teacher, Miss Everything, who's always gone at FFA events. Tracy Hoffman, she's going to talk about our students.
That's my brother's job, not mine.
So these individuals, I really try to put a lot of different things on social media so that people in our community can see the great things that these kids are doing, and some of the different skills and opportunities that they're given by being involved in FFA and the leadership opportunities that are before them. So these 3 gentlemen, we have Gavin Williams, Clay Powell, and Joshua Miller. They did the FFA demonstration contest for leadership development events. And I'll let them kind of talk about what their topic was. But in order for them to kind of move on through, they had to compete at district level competition, and then the top 2 individuals from districts moved on to the regional level. So they moved out of districts to the regional competition. At regionals, they were the regional winner, so that advanced them directly to the state finals. And then at the state finals are during the Michigan FFA State Convention in March, or this year was the end of February, at MSU. The top 2 individuals from the state finals present a final time on the stage at the Wharton Center in front of, I think that they were close to 2,000 people that were there, and did their presentation, and then they have their presentation, they have a period of time to answer questions, and then they were chosen as the overall state winner. So they had a lot of steps to get through there, plus, I mean, just presenting on a stage in front of 2,000 people at the Wharton Center, being all mic'd up and everything, these guys definitely kept me entertained as we kind of went through this. But if you want to talk about what your topic was about and maybe why you chose it.
Yeah. The topic that we chose was maple syrup production. The reason why I chose this topic was because my family makes maple syrup, and I found these 2 individuals. Well, not really found them. I tracked them. I found them. Voluntold them. So help me out, and they have actual reasons why they decided to do it. But my reason is we make maple syrup, so I knew about it, and it would be a familiar topic. So I can let these guys tell you why they chose, and go from there.
My official answer was always because I did forestry and FFA, but to be honest, I wouldn't have done it unless this guy asked me to. So.
Well, and I think you didn't know that this is what you were truly doing when you said, like, do you want to help me with maple syrup? Like, I think he thought, like, actually, like, the syrup production and not, leadership.
I thought we were going to tap some trees.
Right. Gavin, what was your role?
It was clicking through slides.
So Gavin was our technology person, so which was important to be able to have. Yes, Mr. Gavin. So we also like to thank the Elsie Lions Club too, because they hosted us for a practice session, and we were able to go to one of their meetings and do another presentation to help us practice too. So that was nice of the Lions Club to do that. So. Congratulations, guys. Thank you for all your
I wanted to clarify, are you guys reading the top 10 or am I doing that? I'm doing that, that's awesome. I just wanted to make sure, as always, we normally don't get all of our top 10 here for the board meeting, even though we invite them all and we appreciate them all being here. Our league decided to move baseball and softball to Monday nights, so they have a doubleheader tonight, and then soccer is also going on tonight, so we lost a few of our top 10, looks like 7 of them. So, but with that, and I'll have them come up here, and then typically what I do is I introduce the top 10, and then we kind of work our way around that way, and the board shakes the hand of our top 10. So I'll start in reverse order, since how at the bottom of the alphabet is where all of our people who are actually here are at. So our top 10 for Ovid-Elsie High School will start with Carson Wentz, or Carson Wertz, excuse me. That's Carson Wentz. Can't get the phone. Braden Tokar, Kaya Spees, Mason Reitenberg, Emma Holly, Willow Evans, Haley Campbell, and then salutatorian Jolie Swender, and then co-valedictorians Rachel Spitzley and Ryan Kirby. So, a round of applause for our... Typically, top 10, we normally have you guys walk around and shake hands about the board member. If you start in that direction, you're back off. We're going to go through the rest of the highlights, so any of the top 10s that don't want to stay, you can leave, but I am your dad, so you need to stay. All right. So last update I gave you guys, I tried to give you a little bit of the data on how the state kind of grades our high school and how we're doing. And while that's, extremely boring, but it's important stuff. I think the real meat and potatoes of what our high school is and what our high school does is in this slideshow. There's several things that aren't quite in here. I tried to work with our student groups, and I felt like you guys needed to kind of have an idea of how many student groups we have, what they're doing, and how successful they're being. So we put this little slideshow together, and I hope it works for me. But I'm just going to kind of work through all of our student groups. First off, we have our band. They received all ones at Marching Band Festival. 8th grade has been added to our high school band. It's been a great transition. Our fall 24 estimated count is going to go from 36 that are currently in the band to 50 next year. We're actually moving up 16, but we are losing 2 7th graders going into 8th grade and decided not to do band, which is pretty common sometimes. We also hosted the MMAC Honors Band. It's the first time we've hosted that since being in the MMAC. If you remember, when we were part of the Tri-Valley, we had an honors band all the time. It was every year. And then we did a traveling host location. Miss Ignash volunteered to host this year, so we held the first annual MMAC Honors Band. That was on March 20th. It was fantastic. The band sounded great. Not throwing any shade, but Chestaning's the only one that didn't participate. All right. I'm being recorded. Our FFA chapter continues to be a top program in Michigan FFA Association for the 23-24 school year. They've earned the following accolades: 1 state winner, 3 gold, 2 silver state proficiencies, state runner-up for star and production, 4 state degrees, 4 outstanding juniors, and 5 academic excellence awards awarded at the state convention. We have 32 FFA members completing next week in the state skills contest. On a national level this fall, there were 2 American degrees and 1 national gold dairy showman. Additionally, Ms. Hoffman is turning into Dan Davenport, just spinning that wheel of money. She's gotten a couple grants this year. The one is for $48,000, so we're looking to get a 10-passenger van. We're still working through that, but super excited about that. So she's raised over $50,000 just through grant funding at the state level. Drama and choir. The choir and the drama students are working hard to present Footloose. That's going to be next Friday, not this coming Friday, but next Friday. It's going to be awesome. The choir is also working on a performance called A Day in the Life, featuring skills performed by the student-directed middle school performing arts class. They've had an incredible year so far with fabulous performances like Anna Green Gables at the high school and then Legally Blonde in the middle school, or one of their cast members is next to my other daughter. The choir had a wonderful Christmas concert, and we're looking forward to the next night in May. The yearbook has 50 students in 2 classes. They're responsible for the high school and middle school yearbooks. 50 students is a lot dedicated to a yearbook. I know you guys don't understand maybe how the yearbook goes together, but those kids are at almost every event. I mean, we got a group of photographers at almost every sporting event, every club event, and they bring a lot of pictures back to the yearbook, and it's fantastic. This year, the students have also sold over $2,000 in advertising and more than 150 books, which is really good for us. The Spirit Barn has really taken a great turn for the better. They're turning out products for students and creating things that are just so much better, so much higher quality, than maybe 5-6 years ago. And so they're making their own T-shirts, they're making their own coffee mugs and things like that. It's just fantastic. And whenever we do things, at the staff level, I ask Ms. Fanning, I say, hey, we make us this, and she said, oh yeah, no problem. And you guys made a map mug or 2 for them. Actually, it was a turkey store, something like that. The World Food Prize. Lily Bates, Mackenzie Keck, and Allie Moore. I think this has been presented to you guys, but these students wrote extensive research papers in English, and then had to go through an interview process. We selected for an all-expenses-paid opportunity sponsored by the Michigan Youth Institute, MSU, and 4-H. Ms. Blank has over 50 students applying to write these essays for this particular one this year, so it'll be super exciting to see next year how many students maybe get invited to as well. We should find out here in the coming months. WOES, what can you say? What a great thing for a small town. Every basketball game, every football game. Last year we did a soccer game. It was me and Nate Sweet. Everybody told us we did great. I appreciate the false positivity, but WOES just does a great job of always communicating out things going on in our district, and our students just do a great job of doing their day-to-day stuff. So WOES is a great thing for us. The M Zone had a lot of crazy themes this year, and they did a great job. Dana Blank, Chris Winter, and several students, one of them also in our top 10, sitting next to my wife, did a great job of organizing the themes for this year. The Marauder Cafe, I don't know if you guys fully understand how the cafe works. We use all the students in Mrs. Bays' room. They work with Becky Keish and Miss Bays. They take inventory, they work on customer service skills, they work on cash register skills, meet and greet, customer service, all that kind of stuff. They do just a great job. We're following board policy with that. We only do 2 days a week, but the other days of the week, those guys are working inventory and things like that. But this is just a great way for those students to start to learn the skills they need to also be a part of the transitions program, which is part of our special education. NHS has 46 members, performed over 800 hours of validated community service. We put validated in there for a specific reason. NHS, the kids have to take a picture of themselves while they're there. They don't just get to say, hey, I went to this and I was there for 10 hours. They got to take pictures of themselves while they're there. It becomes a great point of contention when they don't take that picture. And isn't it amazing that the only time they don't take a selfie is when they're given volunteer hours? Anyway, They do a great job of giving back and leading the blood drives and adopting a family through community Christmas and things like that. Our learning spot has been a great new addition. Michelle Ott has just been amazing. The learning spot is open in the mornings and both lunches, Monday through Thursday. This has really helped curb a ton of our students who struggle. And Ms. Ott is really persistent in making sure that students who are falling behind in classes come to the learning spot. And so we've really captured a lot of our failures this year, and that's all due to Ms. Ott. And we use our NHS students to help work there. That they get their volunteer hours by sitting in there tutoring, helping kids through classes, whether it's math or another. Blood drive, the NHS hosted 2 blood drives this year. October 17th and March 18th, over nearly 80 donors during the 2 events. I gave blood the first time, couldn't do it the second time. They said I was not fit to give blood. I was so happy. PBIS, so we've had 308 different students out of 383 that have been recognized for their positive behaviors. A total of 879 tickets have been dispersed so far this year. 39 teachers and staff have been recognized in various locations, classes, hallways, cafeterias, and buses. As of March 2024, our suspensions are down 39% from the previous school year, and we have a 14% reduction in classes missed compared to the previous year. So it means attendance is up 14%. Our students just got back from the DC trip. Our next trip will be spring of 26. We'll take a year off. We're doing that to kind of give our teachers a break too, because doing a 3-day trip every year has worn on our kids in the past. What a great educational trip. Our kids went to Arlington again, later breathed at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. It was a fantastic event. Our Marauder Bots team, the high school robotics team, the Marauder Bots competed in 2 tournaments in March, the first in Mason. And the team learned a lot, moved up in the rankings by 8 positions. Next weekend at CMU, the team really put all their efforts together. They were able to move up in the rankings, but also were selected to compete in the elimination tournament. For the first time in school history, the team made it to the finals of a regional event. They fell 1 match to 2 and took 2nd place overall. So I wasn't there, but from what I heard, we won the first round of the championship. It would be the first time we'd ever won a regional. We won the first round, and then some things started to break on the other machines, and then ours started to break too, and we kind of limped across and kind of got hammered the last 2 events. But if everything would have stayed together, we just ran out of duct tape. But that's pretty impressive, especially considering what those guys had to go through. And Kevin Gettner, our new social studies teacher, he kind of picked up the slack on that, and we kind of had a little issue with the coaching stuff going on there. Art Explosion. The students participated in the St. John's IQ Hub Art Explosion exhibit displayed throughout the building from November to March. The community voted, and the best artwork award went to OE student Selena Arbogast. At the end of April, students will be entering Art in Shiawassee Arts Center 2024 High School Art Scholarship Competition. The exhibit will be open from May 1st to the 5th, with awards and scholarships to be presented on Sunday, May 5th. NHS also partnered with Clinton County Road Commission to donate a snowplow. I don't know, you guys, they call it Paint the Plow. So the Road Commission was trying to get in with schools, kind of make them light of the snow day issues. And so our kids, we had a plow donated. Courtney Bates set that up with the Michigan Department of Transportation. And they came, dropped out the plow. Our kids painted it. They painted it like 4 times because whatever paint they used the first couple times, it wasn't staying on because it rained and it just disappeared. So they learned to kind of beef up the type of paint they were using. And it turned out great. So the chess club. Did you know we had a chess club? Doc?
No.
Let's check. The high school chess team had a fantastic showing at the state tournament. Yes, we actually went to a state tournament in chess, taking 4th place in the reserve section, finishing with a record of 2.5 wins and 1.5 losses. This is the best showing for a young program with strong play from the team. Leading the team on the first board was Caleb Wilson with an impressive 2.5 wins against some of the strongest players in the state. Winning a gold medal on the second board was Gabriel Gibbett with a perfect 4-0 record. The entire team represented the Ovid-Elsie Marauders with pride and exceptional play. They did a great job. least, we have a really cool foreign exchange program. We have students who come from the Educations group. That's been our foreign exchange partner. They've sent us some pretty cool kids.
Hi, I'm Fred.
And so Educations asked if Ovid-Elsie would participate in videos so that they can create a commercial/video to show prospective students in other countries. And so, of course, we volunteered, and the kids came up with this video. Now, mind you, they had 4 or 5 different schools that they work with. It's not just Ovid-Elsie. But as you'll see in this, I really felt like this spoke to Ovid-Elsie because I think we're in about 90% of it. So I'm going to wrap up my highlights by just kind of showing this video and letting you guys see what's going on.
Jessica, I'm from Italy.
Hi, I'm Apana from Thailand.
Today we're here to interview each other about our exchange here.
Ready? Let's go.
What's a fun activity that you do in school?
Yeah, it's radio class. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
It's so hard in my country. That's true.
I mean, the first day I was scared because I wasn't used to speak in front of many people in English, but now I'm improving. So.
Yeah. Okay. How does food in the USA differ from home?
Okay, the first thing I noticed here is that everyone is free to choose what they are studying for the year. Maybe in Italy we have to do a certain program for the whole year, and here you can choose whatever you want to do, except for English or math, because you have to do that kind of stuff. What was your first impression of the US?
I was so surprised for everything is when you have many culture shock here. The first thing at airport, for the bathroom, is so wide for me compared to my country.
Yeah, I agree. It's all big.
Yeah. Why did you want to go on an exchange here?
Okay, first thing is because I want to improve my English, and then it's because I love playing basketball, and here is basketball. It's kind of the American dream, and yeah, I love playing basketball. So I have another question for you. Did you always want to become a cheerleader?
Yes, because I'm a cheerleader at Thailand too, so I'm interested in this part.
Yeah, doing cheerleading is not common things to do.
Do you think this experience about you changed you?
Yeah, it's already changing my thing because yeah, I'm adapting my routine, and I'm discovering things that maybe I couldn't do alone because I was always with my parents or my friends, and here I'm just enjoying spending time alone. So yeah.
It changed me. I feel like I have to respond to my life more, take care.
About your clothes.
Yes.
That's simple thing that we were used to do, but we were at home, so my mom can always help me.
Here we have to do by ourselves. Would you recommend your friends to study abroad?
Yeah, 100% yes, but it's hard. At the beginning it's very hard, but it's worth it. 100%.
Yeah, I recommend them come to try if you have a chance. It's gonna change your life. You're gonna get new friends, new experience that you can get from anywhere.
Yeah, I agree.
What a couple good kids. Frankie, Kobe, Howard, Francesca played basketball with us. She's got a million names in the pot. They just did a great job of presenting. And I thought that really kind of highlighted our high school, and when our kids are kind of saying, hey, this is a great place. I did think it was interesting though. The one thing they noticed the most, they got to do their own laundry here. And I thought that was speaks to Ovid-Elsie very well. Anyway, do you have any questions for me? That's kind of, I just wanted to highlight the student groups and all the things going on. All right. Hey, I kept it under 12 minutes. I mean, that's a new record. Thank you.
Item B, all education updates and highlights for Ms. Levy and Mr. Powell.
Alright, so our update. So what have we done so far? We welcomed new staff, Brian Powell as our building administrator, And then we welcome Mary Schmidt as our new English teacher. And last but not least, we welcome Jamie Perrin as our new paraprofessional. So current enrollment, our face-to-face students, we have 24 total students, 6 freshmen, 4 sophomores, 6 juniors, and 8 seniors, all of which our face-to-face seniors are here with us tonight. On our online students, we have 12 right now, 0 freshmen, 3 sophomores, 0 juniors, and 9 seniors, 3 of which of those will be graduating in May. And then our annual field trip we took to the Michigan Renaissance Festival. So every year, the Alternative High School participates in the Michigan Renaissance Festival Education Day, which is held the last Friday of September every year. This is a tradition that Dawn started about 30 years ago, and we continue to do that with our kids. And then we are spearheading the vape education and prevention program. We are working with Mrs. Jones, the district nurse, and Amber Foster, the district PBIS coordinator. They're presenting a six-lesson vaping education and prevention program to the alternative high school students. So the alternative high school students are the first in the district to get this, and hopefully next year it will be going out to all the other buildings. All right, and student highlights. So this year we had cadet teachers. Leonard Elementary hosted 4 of our students, 2 during the second trimester and 3 currently during third trimester in their classrooms. We also have 1 student that is coming in on Wednesdays and doing her community service for her senior project in the classroom down there. And then we have the Clinton and Eaton County RESA. We have 2 students there. We have Orion Thomason, who is participating in the welding class hosted by CC RESA, and Jordan Millage, who is participating in the AIS Heavy Equipment Program hosted by the Eaton County RESA. And then Orion is here with us tonight. So I wanted to highlight their pottery class. This year, all the students were able to work with me in pottery, from the basics of pottery, advanced pottery, and independent pottery. These are projects from our basic pottery class that the students did. So as they go further, we'll get a little more detailed with those. And then what's next for us? We will be hosting prom on May 4th at the Masonic Community Center. Our theme this year is Evening in Paris. All students are able to attend. Students may also bring a guest and another couple with approval. And then we have Community Service Project. So this will be the 4th year that Ovid-Elsie Alternative High School has partnered with Duplain Township to clean up Friendship Park that is out in Rochester Colony. So on May 9th, the students will go out, will clean up the park, right, and they will apply mulch, and the township feeds the kids. It's good, so you should come out and check it out while we're out there. And then we have our spring field trip. So this year, students will be going to the Zigwig Center. That's the Native American Cultural Center in Mount Pleasant. There they will learn about the native tribes of Michigan. They'll also learn about the Native American boarding school that is located there in Mount Pleasant. This is, I think, the 2nd or 3rd time we've taken students there. We rotate between that and going to an art institute every year in the spring. And then finally, we have our graduation. Graduation is Thursday, May 23rd at 7 p.m. in the high school auditorium. We have 11 students graduating, 8 of the face-to-face, all of which are here with us this evening. And we have 3 online students who will be graduating. So, any questions?
Item C, athletic updates and highlights. Mr. Winners not able to make it today, so we'll move into item D, building and grounds updates and highlights. Mr. Davenport, Mr. Staley.
Get pumped. This is the most exciting presentation I've had. You should have got it first, Mayor. I don't know. So, Mr. Staley and I are going to update you about things we have going on with facilities, buildings, and grounds. We started the year pretty conservatively. You know, everyone's already mentioned transitions. New business office, new interim superintendent. We did our best doing budgeting to both tech and facilities really tighten everything up so that we could experience a normal year and make sure we knew what we were doing. And that's gone pretty well. The budget revisions were 2 meetings ago, maybe? And I don't know how it was presented to you, but we're about 30% of our budget is left at this point, which is, to me, acceptable for the year. I feel like we made it through without too many surprises. But we wanted to let you know some of the stuff we've been doing and some stuff that's coming up shortly. So the CTE CRCR, which is an audit that happened for us, is related to career and technical education programs. So here that's woods, metals, business, and digital media. And we offer all of these programs. The federal government has rules, the state applies them. So an auditor from MDE came out to look at these programs and audit our building, which is the first time we've had this kind of compliance review in the entire history of the building, which was interesting, a little bit nerve-wracking. We had to gather a lot of materials ahead of time. We weren't sure, what parts they would look at. There's only so many things we can control without new construction, so we were eager to get through it, and it went very well, I would say. And this is an action item for you later, but I wanted to lay it out now, and we can talk more about it as needed when you get to that part of it. But despite the age of the building, there are only minor findings, and there were things like protrusions, like in the high school, the fire extinguishers have a rollout, and that rollout is just a little too out from the wall. It was that type of thing. We knew they would find some stuff like this, but it's really, they're all things that are pretty easy for us to address. We have 2 years to address them. The plan is to address them this summer. That's what's in our plan. It's been approved. That's actually the action item is we're seeking the board's signature on that to say, yes, we also agree with this plan. But we're budgeting for and planning for knocking it all out this summer, everything they asked us to do. There are a few other things like the sink reach, directional signage for accessible restrooms. We had some COVID-era towel dispensers sticking out where we don't even really need them anymore, but they were there to go with the hand sanitizer and that sort of thing. So all things that are pretty simple to address. They had some really good suggestions for future construction, which just goes in our notes. There's no expectation that we would accomplish it, but when we do said construction, how we can address things. One of them was the Colony parking lot. And I don't know why I never thought of this, but there's no reason the cars should be parked by the sidewalk. And because if you get out of a vehicle in a wheelchair or any other kind of situation, you're now crossing traffic. And it's simple things, but we're like, oh, okay. Next time we have a chance, we'd like to put in a roundabout there too. But the next time we have that opportunity, we'll have that in our notes to do. So all this is on track to get completed. And the thing that doesn't go in the report, which I wish did, and I really think Jason did a nice job of capturing some of this, but they were really impressed. They said all of our offerings are the type of thing they see when they audit an ISD, not a small rural high school. And they were just like, this is amazing that your kids have all these opportunities. So that felt pretty good for something that was, an audit's not exactly meant to be fun, but we ended up having a good conversation with the folks who came. And Jen Branch also was part of this from CC and yeah, it went pretty well. So that was the CTE Civil Rights Review. And then Cody's going to talk about a project we have coming up.
So coming up this summer, we have projects coming up that's going to improve our asphalt parking lot throughout the entire district. All that means that we're going to go through and do patch filling with some seal coat and top coat of that with restriping all the parking lots. Might be some minor spot milling in there, just in the really bad areas. And with the CTE inspection, they recommended some crosswalks we painted, so we're going to add those in the parking lots as well while they're getting restriped.
And I realized, so we have fun facts at the bottom here. 5,184 rolls of toilet paper this year so far. And I did start doing the math. All right, we got 1,340 kids and 200 staff, and so that's 3 rolls a person. Is this right? But I forgot. There's community members. We're going to need some more stats to really explain that. So, but we can probably throw some of that stuff in as we went through this. And there's the amount of rock salt that per paving asphalt, So Now, the middle school fire system, the high school's been upgraded in the last 5 years, and it's not directly connected to our middle school fire system. That system's original to the building, so 96, 97, and we're reaching a point where the folks who are repairing it are saying, hey, you know, there's only so much longer we're willing to work with this panel, the main brains of the thing. And fortunately for us, there's a grant funding source called 31AA. It's security and safety related. It covers a lot of things, and this year particularly, it rolled out very fast with a lot of addition. And so one of the things that we'll be doing with that money will be covering this fire system. And so we're working through that process. Next week, we're meeting with Matrix Consulting. They came out in spring break and did all the measurements and whatnot. They're helping us write a big package to make sure we're meeting all the legal requirements. This will be our first fire system that's connected to a phone system. That's something that we can engage in with any of our iterations, but as you go through upgrading these things, each time you're updating to the latest codes and requirements and expectations. Fortunately, the pathways for cabling and all that will be the same. So, and they don't typically tear a whole system out, they replace it as they go, so you have a functional fire system. So, we're working through all of that. We also talked to Matrix, they're a mechanical electrical engineering consultant, and talking to the folks with the safety grant, one idea we have, which we may or may not pursue, was a generator, because our high school fire system uses the pool for fire suppression. And there's a pump down there, and there's a lot of stuff that could go wrong when you lose power on these pumps. And so we were talking about that, and cameras and doors, phones, all the things that could be kept up if we had more. We have battery backup in a bunch of different elements, both technology and facilities. But that's something we're having him at least kind of quote out for us, or spec out for if we were to go to bid on something like that. We just wanted to get a real sense of the cost and what's worth doing and not worth doing. And he's kind of looking at all of our safety systems on one generator, or just one to support that pool water system. And it's something that this grant, they did say they would cover, but it just depends on exactly where the funding lands, whether or not we'll pursue that. The other things would be cameras and door ads that fall into the scope of what they're willing to fund. And the most likely place, our administration building, is not connected to our door system. And it's largely because the panel that goes in there is the most expensive part for each building, and for a building with 2 doors, we just have never spent the money. But if we have the opportunity, it'd be a good time to do it. So that's the other thing we're looking at with that. And it's kind of that facility's intact together. Not too much hand towel as toilet paper. Are they washing their hands? And then these are projects that are ongoing and completed, but
yeah, so we had some small projects to go through this summer, this spring. We did a little restructure of our parking lot by the softball and baseball field. Took out a section of chain link fence, added some wood split rails to make it more uniform turn. And by doing that, it created an area where we could get a sufficient ticket booth out there, so we had that built. And we are currently working on some new signage for our tennis courts, and all of our outdoor scoreboards are going to get re-imaged and re-stickered. Hopefully by June. Of course, that's all weather dependent. So that'll make everything look really nice out there.
And I'm coming back at a future meeting to do tech and safety, but the same folks who are doing signage are doing some safety signage for us too. And actually, I think it all ties together. The civil rights, there's a couple of signage areas, and so we're getting all that stuff addressed. And that's all we have for you, unless you have questions.
Thank you. Item D, superintendent's report.
Okay, just 4 comments. First of all, thank Mr. Tokar for presenting the top 10, the honor 10. And Thursday, they are going to be honored at Clinton County RESA with a presentation and a luncheon there. So all of them, and including Mr. Tokar, will be attending that this Thursday, the 18th. Next thing is last day for students. Here we're talking about towards the end of the school year already. last day for students and staff is Wednesday, June 5. So half a day for students, and the rest of the day is to finish for the staff. The third thing, which affects really all of the administrators and the staff, is new evaluation instruments that the legislature passed. And for the Board of Education, as including the administrators, they all have to be trained in the new instrument. So therefore, for board members, for the 24-25 school year, as of right now, the legislative deadline is September 1, 2024. So each of the board members will have to be trained in that. I don't know if they're going to either set it up as one evening at Clinton County RESA or do it on virtual. So more will be coming on that. And then finally, the Finance Committee will be meeting. Hopefully, you can check your calendars. It will be Monday, June 10th, 6:30 p.m. And that is the last revision for the current year. So for 23-24. And also, and that's for the general fund and the food service, and then also the new budget for the 24-25 school year. So if you could check your calendar, the Finance Committee, and see if that's okay. If not, we'll have to change it. And that concludes my report.
Good, sir. Item 6, old business, none at this time. Item 7, new business.
Let me cover the new business. As Dan and Cody were talking about, as far as our custodial positions, we're recommending to the board to approve one new custodial position. I've given some background there. Presently, there are 10.5 full-time equivalent custodial positions throughout the district. That's 7.5 custodians, along with 3 building engineers. I said 3.5, that's a typo, okay? So therefore, there's a total of 10.5 full-time equivalent that work in the custodial position. You might say the building engineers, that's one at Leonard, one at E.E. Knight, and one at the middle school, high school. 5 are responsible for the 2 elementary schools, and 5.5 are responsible for the middle school, high school. After a review and determination, Cody, Dan, and myself are looking for the Board of Education to approve one additional custodian, and it's for Ovid-Elsie area schools, even though at this time it's going to be placed at the high school. But we don't approve custodians for a particular building. They're approved for the district. So I also have a sheet in the live binder, gives a few more details, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, that's what we're looking at. Mary?
That spreadsheet that you gave us, I believe it was the square footage.
Yes.
Is that a typo? It says middle school square footage, and then it just says square footage, but it doesn't say HS next to it.
Let me take a look at that just a minute. Okay, that's on the enclosure for the middle school. For the middle school, it's 79,623 square feet, and for the high school, it's 184,932.
Is there HS next to it though? Was that just about a mistake? Because this is Leonard, do you see it or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
That's what I thought, but I just wanted to verify.
Yeah, exactly. So the high school and middle school have a lot of square footage, obviously. Cody is working with his staff presently, but we do need one additional custodian to really keep up with the high school and middle school. Primarily, it's going to be at the high school.
And you don't know how, if we've ever had more than 2 at any given time at the high school?
Yes, they filled them in with substitutes, okay? I think that's what we call them, substitute custodians, but not under the contract as a custodian under the contract. Before, they were substitutes. And we really need a regular person in there instead of sometimes you have this person, then that person, and so forth. Because like anything, you really, your area, you keep it very clean. That's your responsibility. So before, it's always with substitutes.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion.
I recommend the Board of Education approve one additional custodian position for Ovid-Elsie area school beginning in 2024-25 school year.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Nash, support by Ms. Woolley. Discussion. Roll call vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
The next new business item is really what Dan primarily talked about with the Career and Technical Education Civil Rights Compliance Review. Now we received the document in regards to what they expect us to do over the next couple of years. And now the Board of Education needs to approve that, and then we pursue and get that done. Isn't that pretty much the order of it, Dan?
Yep, at this point, it's in an electronic system, and they've already approved the plan. They really just want the board president's signature, but they're seeking that approval of the board to say, we also agree with this plan. Then we work through the plan and we provide them evidence. And they'll judge that evidence. And most of that evidence will be, you said get rid of this, I took a picture that I got rid of it, or I changed it, or whatever. So, and if you look through I think you have the document with the plan, it's pretty straightforward. There's nothing in there that is like hard to grasp what they want us to do. So, we plan to knock it all out this summer.
You know, and even some of the things, when they walk through it, I can't quite see it from here. It's around the corner. But Dan talked about that. If something protrudes, is it more than 4 inches from the wall, I believe? I think it is, Cody, yeah. If it's more than 4 inches from the wall, you're not supposed to have that, okay? And you might say, oh, how's that gonna hurt anyone? Well, if you have a blind person coming through, okay, they're taught certain distance from the wall, and with their cane, you know, they're checking on it. So we have to make those adjustments for that situation. So as Dan said, we need a board. Now I asked Mr. Jones to sign it, but I thought instead of just having Eric sign it, I thought it'd be best if we bring it to the board for discussion and approval, and then Eric can sign it.
I move that the Board of Education certify the civil rights compliance plan for Ovid-Elsie area schools.
Support. Motion by Mr. Nash, support by Mr. Miller. Discussion. Roll call vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes.
And the last item is item C. The Board of Education needs to approve going into closed session for negotiations.
I move the Board of Education in closed session.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Miller, support by Dr. Huff. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. We'll be heading into closed session.